And to be quite frank, he should have minded his business, right?
Right.
And that's how you felt, right? And you wanted to relay that to him.
Right.
And he felt that you shouldn't be parking in the parking spot.
Right.
And so you guys are going back and forth. Now, he's outside of your car door, correct?
Yes.
He never reaches inside of your window.
No.
He never reaches inside of your door.
No.
And in fact, the window that has your children with it, that window's not down.
No.
And it's tinted windows.
Right.
All right. And so it's just back and forth, arguing, and he's pointing and talking, correct?
Right.
Now, from where you're seated in the vehicle, you can see the front entrance to where the door is.
Yes.
And Mr. Draker is kind of standing at an angle to you, arguing with you.
Right.
And his back is to the entrance of the store, correct?
I mean, it's like toward the side of the store.
So the door is to the left of him.
Right.
But you can see the door straight ahead.
Right.
And you make the statement, you want my man to F you up, you want my man to come here and F you up, right? Something along those lines.
I said, do you want me to get my man?
Okay. Now, I want to talk about the statement you said that Mr. Draker made, but we'll get to that in a minute. Now, you said that because you knew that your man would probably come and defend you, right?
I mean, yes.
You felt like if your man thought something was going on, he was going to come and do something.
Yes, and I said that, to get this man away from me. I thought that was going to scare him away.
Okay. But going back to the beginning, you could have rolled your window up and just drive to the other side of the store, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But you didn't do that. So you're yelling back and forth, and while you're seated still in your vehicle, you see Marquise coming out the grocery store.
Yes.
And when you see him, you open up the door and you get out the car.
Yes.
But you said you were scared.
I was scared.
Right. But you got out the car.
Right.
But you weren't scared anymore because you knew Marquise was coming.
I mean, I didn't know what was going to happen. I just wanted this man to leave me alone.
Right. But you got out the car when you saw Marquise coming.
Right.
Before that, you didn't try to get out the car.
No.
So now you see your man coming. You get out. Marquise runs up. Correct?
Yes.
And he shoves Mr. Draker to the ground. Yes?
Yes.
And Mr. Draker flew, I think in your estimation, it was about 2 feet.
I don't remember how many feet.
But
But
it wasn't a tap, correct?
it was a push.
Right.
It was
And
a
it
hard
literally
push.
knocked Mr. Draker off his feet.
Right.
Yeah, you saw that, right?
Yeah.
And right when Marquise did that, Marquise also made a step forward after he even pushed him.
No.
You don't recall that?
No.
You watched the video?
Yes.
Now, going back to Mr. Draker, the whole time you're arguing with him, he never tells you that he has a firearm, correct?
No.
He never threatens you.
No.
He never said he was going to shoot you.
No.
He didn't put his hand on his hip and try to signal to you that he had a firearm.
No.
You guys are just having a plain verbal argument, difference of opinion.
Right.
That's really loud.
Yes.
And people are listening.
Yes.
And even when Marquise is coming, Mr. Draker didn't see him, correct?
Yes.
He was blindsided, correct?
Yes.
Because Mr. Draker was focused solely on you. Is that correct?
Right.
And in fact, when you talked about, you said the word, I retreated to the left and Marquise retreated. You never used the word retreat in any of your statements to law enforcement, correct?
I don't recall, but I remember telling him we was, moving back.
Fair, but you never said retreated, correct?
I don't remember.
And to be clear, Marquise never turned his back to Mr. Draker, correct?
No.
He never turned around as if going back into the store.
No.
And in fact, it was more like a slant, correct?
Yeah.
And in fact, you believe that it was Marquise backed up to see what he was going to do.
Everybody was backing up. Everybody was retreating.
Well, I'm talking about, I know you say retreat, but Marquise was trying to see what he was going to do, meaning Mr. Draker.
He was
Speculation. Sustained.
Now, after Marquise shoved Mr. Draker to the ground, they were still pretty close in distance from each other, correct?
yes.
And Mr. Draker actually falls on his butt.
Yes.
Now, Marquise was about 205 pounds.
No.
No?
No.
How much did he weigh?
He was only 100 and something, like 190.
Okay, about 190 pounds. He was 28 years old.
Yes.
Pretty muscular build.
Yes.
Now, you told the state that after Marquise was shot and he runs in the store, you actually went to the left, closed the door, and then went into the store.
Yes, I went around to the passenger side, winding my window up, and then I went in the store behind Marquise.
And isn't it true that you immediately ran after Marquise?
At first, I just went and winded my windows up. Then I ran after him.
And just so I can be clear, when you were arguing with Mr. Draker, you guys never touched each other. There was never any physical touching or anything of that nature.
No.
All right. When you saw Mr. Draker pull out the firearm, it was pretty quick, right?
Yes.
All right. It was actually really fast.
Yes.
And this entire time, Mr. Draker still has on his blue tinted glasses
Yeah, and a hat.
and a hat. Now, I want to talk about that statement you said that Mr. Draker said, and correct me if I'm wrong, and you want to fight? What was that statement that you said?
I said, do you want me to get my man?
And
He
then-
says yes, if he wants to fight.
Okay. Now, did you look over the transcript of your interview from the night of July 19th?
Yes.
All right. And I'm going to give you, if I can get a pen. This is not in there. Yeah, Coach, this.
Wait, you ready?
Can I see defense counsel just for a second?
Sure.
Now, at some point during this, you had testified earlier that you were scared of Mr. Draker, correct?
Yes.
When he was walking around the car,
Yes.
right? But in fact, you actually said that you were about to put your hands on him,
Yes.
right? That's not the statement of a person who's scared, correct?
I mean, yeah, I was still scared because I wanted him just to get away from me and my babies.
But a person who's scared doesn't say that they want to put their hands on somebody, right?
No.
With their 2 kids in the car, correct?
Correct.
Where they could have rolled their window up, and you didn't even have to move the car at the parking spot. You could have just rolled the window up, correct?
Yes.
But you didn't do that.
No.
I'm sorry?
No.
Give me one moment, please. Ms. Jacobs, you knew that Marquise was going to come out and fight when he was coming out that store, correct?
No, I didn't know what was going to happen.
I mean, because you essentially said you want me to get my man, right?
I just wanted him to get away from the car.
Right. By opening your door and getting out.
No.
You did get out the car, right?
Your Honor, I'm going to object. This has been asked and answered several times.
I have no further questions at this time. Wait, one moment. Did you know that Marquise was on drugs at that
No.
time?
No.
No? Okay. No further questions. Thank you.